Hey everybody, I'm Joenelle Futrell, this year's National Eastern Region Vice President, serving as the team's treasurer. And originally I'm from Philpott, Kentucky, and am extremely excited to be able to go home in just a few short weeks for my home chapter's banquet. It makes me think of my very first time at an FFA banquet. It was my freshman year. I was sitting in the very back of the room not knowing what to expect, but was extremely impressed about what those chapter officers were doing up in the front with opening ceremonies and giving awards and chapter degrees. Well, changed a few years down the road when I was a chapter officer for the very first time. And I was anxious, I was nervous, I was freaking out about what could possibly go wrong at our chapter banquet. So maybe you felt a little bit of the same way. Maybe you're nervous. Maybe you're extremely excited and ready for chapter banquet. Whatever the situation, here are some tips and tricks from my team to yours to hopefully make your chapter banquet the very best that it can be. First off, let's remember that chapter banquets, guys, they're a team effort. We all play a role in making our banquet the very best that it can be. So whatever that means for your chapter, if it's having a banquet planning committee, if it's designating each chapter officer with a specific role that they have, moves right into making sure that we always plan out every event that we have. And this banquet is no different. We need to make sure that we plan out everything from start to finish of our chapter banquets. Because chapter banquets really have the purpose of rewarding students. They reward members for all the hard work they've put in throughout the entire year on career development event teams, with their supervised ag experience projects and proficiency areas, and even community service events. Whatever your chapter does and your members are involved in, this is their time to shine. And it's also time to put a little bit of recognition light on our past chapter officers and those chapter officers who are just coming in. It's a great way to recognize them during our banquets. Another cool way that we can recognize members and all the efforts that they've done throughout the year is by awarding chapter degrees. Chapter degrees really put the light on those members who have excelled in their chapter, who have logged hours, who have excelled in the classroom, and who are really just putting in lots of effort to the FFA. It's also a way that we can recognize community members, because we know that at chapter banquets, it's not just FFA members that attend. We've got parents, teachers, administrators, sponsors, judges, alumni, all sorts of individuals who support us throughout the entire year. So what's a better time to recognize these community members for their support than at our chapter banquets? And a great way to really recap the entire year and highlight all of the fun things we do in FFA is by maybe putting together a slideshow at our chapter banquet. Not only do we get to see some really cool and fun memories that we've made, but who knows, maybe there's some future FFA members out there in the audience who are looking up at that screen and seeing some fun things they can be involved in too. Just remember, there's one part we've got to practice with our chapter banquets, and that's our opening and closing ceremonies. Because at every chapter banquet across the country, we know that meetings start and finish with opening and closing ceremonies. Think about what these words mean as we practice them, because this is our time to communicate what FFA is to our members and our community members. So remember, during our chapter banquets, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. We've got so much work and effort put into this that there's going to be highlights and a few mistakes. But it takes all kinds of people and roles to come together and really support each other throughout this time, which makes me think of a super cool leadership concept that Dr. Tim Elmore came up with. It's called the hot air balloon, which basically means that as a hot air balloon rises, it needs hydrogen. Just like as we, as chapter officers, continue to excel, we need more support and encouragement to keep us going. Check out the blog link below for more information on how we can keep encouraging each other during our chapter banquet season. Guys, from my team to yours, good luck. I know you're going to have a fantastic chapter banquet. Signing out, this is Joenelle Futrell. Stay classy, FFA members.